Hello YouTube, welcome back to the channel. So, gonna make a little bit of a short video here. This is not the kind of video that I'll usually end up spending much time making. I do enjoy being self-referential to a certain degree, but sometimes it's unnecessary. But this was a fun one just because the timing on it was really beautiful. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna share with you a clip from this past week's live stream. And like I said, a lot of the stuff we'll touch on the live stream in between bouts of silliness, and this past episode had quite its fair share of silliness. I may grab a couple of clips for fun later on and maybe include them as excerpts. But in between, we still do end up talking about some interesting things, and sometimes stuff will get brought up. And what I wanted to talk about was this. I'm going to call this video, I think, What's Old is New Again. And on the live stream, I made reference to a couple of different things throughout the course of the broadcast. And what I've talked about over and over again, this is maybe my reoccurring theme that I've said, I feel like 100,000 times already at this point. But I'm going to reiterate it again using this example here. And it is that in the hobby, the way this has worked out, if you've been in it for the long haul, and what a lot of the born again hobby purists that I guess we have now have forgotten is that there's a long track record and there's a long collective memory. If you hang around long enough, you'll be able to see it. And there's evidence of it all throughout the internet. If you look back, you can find stuff on old message boards. You can find a lot of this stuff. A lot of information is there. But a lot of it is right in your face. A lot of it has been available the whole time. One of the things we talked about and what I'm being specific about here is that in this little snippet I'm going to play for you on the live stream, and then I'll show you a clip after. One of the things that we talked about was, I think Ken Goldin was brought up, and Hockey 99 here, this comment was trying to make the point of, like, not everyone has been around since the 90s to know what Ken Goldin was called in the 90s. And my point in this clip is that, well, it doesn't really matter. You can listen to the guy currently, and you'll get the gist. And I stand by that. You don't really need to learn that much. Of course, it helps to have a little background, a little history, and the more you know in that sense, obviously that's a good thing. But the reality is you don't need to know. And to be clear, this is not a condemnation of Ken Goldin, because he's hardly the only one in the space like this. But this stuff like this is the reason why folks like myself don't really get worked up about every single little thing that happens in the hobby, because it's like, well, this has been going on not just for years, not just for decades, but for many decades. And a lot of stuff that's taken for granted, a lot of the hobby players that are taken for granted, that are basically institutionalized at this point, have been participant in a lot of different things that today, if it was done today, you would question it to the end of the earth. But because they've been around so damn long, then it's just kind of accepted. And that's why I made the joke in this stream that I said, by the definition of hobby goatdom, all these guys are hobby goats, because that's just the way it was. And that applies for Ken Goldin. That applies for, even a Bill Master, as infamous as he is. And it applies certainly to other folks in the hobby who have been around for a long time. And this could be its own topic separate from this video. The fact of the matter is, even, Beckett, back in the day with the magazine, back in the day, they had the hot list. We talk about, people promoting something and then helping pump up a certain market. Well, what do you think the hot list was? And at this point, Beckett is basically hobby royalty. We just move on. We accept it, because the price guide in the magazine ushered in a new era of the hobby. It did. It definitely helped promote part of it. But in a certain sense, it pumped up a segment of the hobby. People would pay attention to those up arrows. They pay attention to the hot list. Before we had our top 5 video, we had the hot list. So stuff like that is all over the place. It's always been part of this game. But that's one of those things. It's that people forget, I guess. And really the reoccurring theme that I've tried to beat over and over again, that drum, has been that, look, if we like somebody, we just kind of give it a pass. And people just become accepting of it. But a lot of times, A, they don't know the history. But even B, even if they did know the history, they're quite content to gloss over it. Again, not meant to be a condemnation, but just an understanding that that is what it is. So my point is that what's old is new again. This whole clip that I'm going to show second is actually really, just the timing of it on it was beautiful, so I thought it'd be kind of funny to revisit. So I'll play this clip real quick, just a short snippet of this, and then I'll actually show you a little bit more from the second video, and I'll include a link to it in the description for you. It's from the Cardporn YouTube channel, so if you're familiar with Cardporn, you'll know who this is. But they grabbed a little clip that is going to be kind of a fun one, and I'll cue it up here in a second. But first, from the live stream, this is episode 91, the most recent one, the Canada Day episode / Hobby Doom. Not everyone's been, so let me quickly adjust this one. Not everyone's been around since tonight. That's true. But here's the thing. It's not, all you got to do is look at Ken Goldin and listen to him. Like, you don't need, you're telling me you can listen to Ken Goldin and not figure this out on your own. You need to be explicitly told that he's a shifty bastard. With due respect, by the way, with due respect, much love, much love, much love. He's a shifty bastard. Come on. You need this flat out explained to you? That means you're stupid. That means you deserve it. Yes. What comes next is on you. Go get it. Have fun. I hope he rips you off. I hope he rips you off because you suck. I can't help you. Like, I don't even know what to do at that point. Like, I don't need to explain this. And if I do, you're dumb and I want you to fail. It amuses me to watch you get ripped off because you're dumb. Now, to be clear, I'm not accusing Ken Goldin of ripping anybody off currently because my legal representation has told me that we are not covered for that. So, to be clear, I'm stating nothing more than he is a shifty bastard and also much love. Much love, to emphasize, much love. Now, all that said, I'm going to show you a clip that Cardporn pulled up from back in the, I want to say, early 2000s. So for those familiar, again, part of the reason I can tease and make fun of is that I am doing it a little bit tongue-in-cheek because, again, I don't want his lawyers after me. Also, because at the end of the day, look, I'm not accusing him of anything specific. Just understand that there have been accusations for time immaterial. But the important thing is that you've got to judge it for yourself. And the important thing is that he is not shy on promoting things. He's, and we saw that already. Like in the most recent one with the triple logo man, they put out ads in Times Square. He basically showed up anywhere where a screen was available to promote the damn thing. Which, as a person who's an auctioneer, it does make a lot of sense. But again, the auction business has always been rife with a lot of, kind of shiftiness and shadiness. So again, I'm not going completely out of pocket to suggest, oh, well, maybe there's some shiftiness in how this stuff's done. And maybe some backdoor deals and stuff. But again, I'm not accusing him of anything in particular because I don't have that particular information. I don't have the evidence to specifically point to a specific date, time, and location. So because of that, I'm not going to accuse him of a damn thing. But I'm going to say if somebody has an issue with something related to it, just understand that there have been kind of concerns and accusations going back many, many years. In the clip I'll show you, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop sharing. I'll do a little editing magic, and I'll come back to the other video already queued up. Editing magic's great, you see. Now, this video is, like I said, this is from Shop at Home. I think in the early 2000s. Best guess I have is the early 2000s from kind of a lot of the references. Tiger Woods really taken off because I know he did the Tiger Slam, I want to say in 2001. So maybe 2000, 2001 would be maybe the right time period on this. I don't know what specific other reference in particular. So this is from Ken Goldin is on with Don West at the Shop and Home Network, and they're basically talking about this 1985 Michael Jordan Gem Mint 10 rookie. Okay, so the thing is, this is over 20 years ago. And the point was, like I said, I took that clip from the live stream where I just said, look, he has been, if we want to phrase it a different way, the guy has been the consummate promoter. Let's position this in the nicest possible way. He's been the consummate promoter for decades. Well, in this situation, we're going to talk about this a little bit. We're going to listen in on what they have to say. And Don West is a classic. If nothing else, for no other reason, this is a great excuse just to listen to some classic Don West. Talk this up. But Ken Goldin is going to get in on it as well to give a lot of background and information on this card. Now, this is the 85 Nike Michael Jordan. This was the one I think that was inside of the shoe boxes. So it's kind of an interesting, contemporary Michael Jordan card because obviously you've got the 84 star card and then you got the 86 Fleer card. So this one kind of bridges the gap in between. It's not really a card. It's almost like a postcard or like an ad thing. It's a strange little middle ground. One other thing you may not notice from the blurriness is that this Gem Mint 10 is actually a Pro. I don't know if any of you remember the Pro grading card company. Notorious, let's say, to say the least. I would not put them on par. They're a lot less PSA, SGC, even BGS. They're more closer to, I don't know, like HGA. Actually, that might be generous. HGA might have, I won't say they have more credibility, but maybe we'd have to go a tier lower. I have to think about where they would rank in today's status if the Pro company was still around. Although maybe they are. I just don't remember hearing from them in many years. Anyway, they used to have a lot of trim cards in their holders as well. That was one of their things. Anyway, so let's listen to Ken Goldin and Don West talk up this card. Get the gist of it just by listening. That's why the point was in that first clip I gave you. Let's get the gist of it, and then you'll kind of see, and I'll have some closing thoughts, and we'll finish with that.
Folks, we sold this card on the air at $20,000. This card has already brought double and triple that, people have told me. All I know is we sold them for 20 grand. You have one last time, and I will tell you this, they are perfect 10s. And I'm going to tell you something, Kenny, this card is so smoking hot right now, and will be forever, because it is now being recognized as the true Jordan rookie from 1985.
Well, it's the only Jordan card, Don, that was produced during his rookie year. That's what you need to understand. It was the only Michael Jordan card that any of the card companies, any of the grading companies will authenticate that was produced during the 84-85 NBA season, which, of course, was Michael Jordan's rookie year. You will receive the 1985 Nike Michael Jordan in Gem Mint 10 for $4,999. We sold this exact card, the Nike Gem Mint 10, at $20,000 a card. We have taken $15,000 off that price for one final shot. And America, let me...
That's 75% off. Hashtag bargain, my friends. This is before the hashtag. Hashtag bargain. 75% off. Think about this. This man is a humanitarian. He is a truly great man. And on this July 4th, by the way, happy July 4th to those of you on the American side of the border. Happy July 4th to you. And think about this. You are getting now to hear the words of a true patriot, a great hobby pioneer, a true patriot, and a truly generous, giving man giving you this true Michael Jordan rookie for 75% off. Bless something.
Let me tell you something right now. Don said it, I'll be just blunt. Michael Jordan is a part owner of an NBA franchise, so he knows what's understood as protocol. The protocol is you don't make a big announcement while the NBA playoffs are going on. I mean, Barkley doesn't give a darn about protocols. He blabbed it already. But Michael Jordan, after the NBA Finals, mark my words, will announce that he will be playing, starting for the Washington Wizards next year, that Charles Barkley will be signed as a free agent, and a third thing that has not been publicly disclosed, but I personally think is going to happen, they'll be signing Chris Webber as a free agent, and you will see Michael Jordan do the unthinkable, which is win a 7th NBA championship with a brand new team, and this is the hottest Jordan on the market, and it is a whopping $15,000 below where we sold the card at last year.
I've got to tell you something, folks. $15,000 off our price. But Kenny, and we need to make this very clear, today is the only day, because we will sell them out. We only have a few. And in fact, Kenny and me were talking. Kenny's like, Don, you understand this card is going to be, I mean, the card books, what, in a 9 for $5,000. So a Gym Mint, they won't even book out a Gym Mint 10, Kenny, because it's normally what, 10 times what a 9 is?
Exactly.
Folks, I'm going to tell you something, and I mean this. I mean this with and we only have a few total that we can do, period.
Now, I want you to think about that. I said a moment ago this man is a great patriot. He is a great humanitarian. He is a great human being. Not only did he give it to you for 75% off what they sold it for last time, based on the ratio, a 10, a perfect 10. Perfect 10, based on the ratio of a perfect 10, that should be a $50,000 card. Because Michael Jordan is going to come back to the Wizards. That did happen. And Michael Jordan is going to get Charles Barkley to play. I don't think that happened. And Chris Webber also I don't think happened. And win a 7th NBA championship also probably didn't occur. But the point is, this is a $50,000 card. As a matter of fact, they were giving it to you for 90% off. Bros, do you not understand? This man, more than 20 years ago, was giving people money. Giving. And think of how inflation has gone since then. That's like $50 trillion now. $500 trillion. More money than exists. It's just madness. And just imagine, they could have sold multiple of these. And more money than exists times however many they sold. It's unbelievable. All right, I'll play a little bit more and then we'll move on from this. I'll give some final thoughts and we'll finish this up.
That's why you've got one last shot. We've only got a few. I'm going to tell you, and Kenny, I mean this and believe this with all my heart, that you purchased this card today, and I believe you are making, because I'm not only am I going to promise that it'll never be lower, after these few that we have are gone, and Kenny, we're going to get it, because you and I both talked about it, we have to double this price or even raise it substantially higher.
Oh, absolutely. Don, I've got no problem in the world saying that because that is what is absolutely going to happen. You are looking right now. Listen, we
Kenny, do you know what these are going to be going for come basketball season?
Heck of a lot more than they're going for now. I mean, listen, Don, we saw the Tiger Woods card go from $1,000 to $2,000, now over $100,000 a card. This is Michael Jordan's one true rookie. I mean, this is the rookie card. This is a card that was issued 2 full NBA seasons before the 1986 Fleer.
This is the rookie first card ever. I'm sorry, Kenny, I just had to get that out.
No, and I understand because, Don, I look at this, you see Tiger Woods cards from 1997, 1997 going for $100,000, and, 96 one going for maybe $250,000 now. This is 1985. This is 16 years ago. This was issued only in a cello wrap deck inside Air Jordan sneakers. Whatever you need to do to get this card, we could have a $20,000 price because we sold the card at $20,000, and I am convinced when Jordan comes back, we will be selling it for a hell of a lot more than $20,000. Just let me tell you one thing. On the cover of the Certified Monthly Price Guide, the last time the card appeared in the cover, it says Hot Jordan Pre-Rookie bringing $5,000 plus. However, what card they were talking about was this Nike card in a Mint 9. That was not a Gem Mint 10 price. That was a Mint 9 booking at $5,000. Typically a 10 will, on the low side, bring 6 times the book value of a 9. The high side, 10 to 20 times what a Mint 9 is going for.
Wait, stop. It could be even better. Up to 20 times. That's $5,000 times 20 times. That could be a $100,000 card. A $100,000 card that they are selling for, brace yourselves, 1/20th of its potential value. Now remember, Don said it's never going to be lower than that. This is important. He said it's never going to be lower than that. This is 20 years ago. Now you got to think about it with inflation, with, the variety of different things related to it. And this is pro. So this is like a serious, third party grade or like a historic one. So of $1,500. 1985 Nike promo, rookie Jordan, graded 10 min 10 by Pro. Best offer, $1,500 US, June 27th, 2022. Inflation works backwards, right? $5,000 in 20 years ago is like $1,500 today, right? That's how the inflation. I got nothing. Anyway, that was fun. More than anything, I just wanted to have some fun listening to some classic Don West. Honestly, it's just an excuse. And it's as good an excuse as any, to be honest. A lot of fun. I got a little bit of a kick out of that. I just figured I would share that one with you. More than anything else, honestly, the point of this video, this was more a silly video than anything else. It's not really meant to be taken too seriously. The point is that a lot of these folks in the hobby do have long-standing track records. They've got histories. And the thing is, you decide for yourself how you want to treat it today. Like I said, like I kind of alluded to, on the live stream, we have a lot of fun. I like to be really animated about a lot of that stuff and really kind of play up a lot of the silliness of it. But the thing is, I don't take the hobby that seriously. None of this stuff really does bother me personally. Because like I said, I knew about, the ridiculousness of Ken Goldin / Don West, 20 years ago and thereabouts. It's been like that forever. And did I think he suddenly became a different person? No. The only thing is that now he's institutionalized. Now he's taken more seriously. Now he's on, on the various business news channels and stuff. And, he has a very big brand name, auction house, which is owned by collectors. So if anything, these guys have become more and more institutionalized. They become household names. They become a brand unto themselves, which is fine. But just understand that that's the way this works. And it's the way it has worked always for a long time. And a lot of folks are going to look over past a lot of this stuff because A, they either don't know, B, they're not trying to find out. They're not doing any research. Cardporn put this up on YouTube, yes. But the truth is, clips of Don West and Ken Goldin have been on YouTube forever. You can go find tons of this stuff. Like, it's been there a long time. It's not like, it was fun that they pulled that particular clip. With the Jordan one, that was a fun one. Because we did have a recent comp as well in a pro holder. Like, it's literally in the same holder as well. Because remember, it's a perfect 10 in a pro holder. So you got a shifty third-party grader, even back then. There were a lot of questions about the Pro holders. A lot of junk was in those holders. You got the Perfect 10, which is, whatever. And then on top of everything else, we had like 3 or 4 different valuations. You could pick which one. They were doing it at a quarter of what they sold it for last time, and Don West initially had it could be 10 times as much, and by the time we were done, Ken Goldin had it could be 20 times as much. And he had Chris Webber signing with the Wizards, and he had Charles Barkley signing with the Wizards. There was a lot going on, even in just a couple of minutes. There was a lot going on there. But just imagine, they were doing this all the time with all kinds of stuff. They were selling a whole bunch of crap that wasn't worth a fraction of whatever the hell they were saying it was worth at the time. At least it's a Jordan card. At least it's a Jordan card that has retained some value. But there was tons of garbage that they were selling through back then at Shop at Home. And it's like, it is what it is. And today's a hobby goat. There you go. And Don West is just entertainment. So, like, if you watch it in the spirit of entertainment, it's great. But just understand that that's what it is. It's entertainment. So I think that's really kind of what I wanted to get into. It was a great callback to the live stream this week, just because the fact that Cardporn happened to put it up today was really fun, because it allowed me to kind of have an excuse to be like, actually, I can refer back to a clip from the live stream directly, which is really fun. But otherwise, I think we'll have a couple of different videos coming up here the next week or two. I've got a couple of ideas for some stuff I want to put up. So more videos coming up on the channel. We'll definitely have some fun with that. We'll do a combination. More serious, a little more silly. We'll do both. Live stream on Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, which is usually more silly than anything else. But we will have moments of clarity where we will discuss some of these matters of the day. Again, I think with a lot of the hobby slowdown stuff, I don't think we're going to have too much in terms of crazy stories. I'll keep an eye open and see what happens. And then we'll kind of take it a step from there. Otherwise, I'd be interested in getting some of your thoughts. Let me pose a question to you, because I'd be curious about this. How many of you, whether you've been a long time in the hobby or whether you're relatively new to the hobby, how many of you didn't really understand some of the background history of Ken Goldin? How many of you didn't know about a lot of this, Shop at Home with Don West and Ken Goldin? Or that Ken Goldin and his dad ran Scoreboard back in the day, and that's a whole other can of worms that I'm not going to get into right now. But how many of you were aware of that in the first place? And if not, here's my question. In the same vein, if you weren't aware of it for whatever reason, this is kind of my follow-up question to that, does it surprise you? Did anything in that clip, the silliness, again, I took a very lighthearted take on it. Like, at the end of the day, like I said, this is more than 20 years ago. I don't care. And I don't really care now. Like I said, I'll call him a shifty bastard because it's fun. But for me at this point, it's almost a term of endearment, because it's like, look, I applaud you for having been able to successfully pull off this con for so long. It's very entertaining. And at the end of the day, I don't care. And then the clip, I stand by the clip, even though I was being very, I was playing it up quite a bit in the live stream because we were having fun. But I do stand behind it to a certain degree. Like, at a certain point, if you're not willing to do even minimal diligence, I don't care if it doesn't work out for you. I don't care if you buy a $5,000 Jordan, Pro 10 that is a third of the price 20 years later. It's one of those things. It is what it is. Like, even at that time, you should have known that the fix was in, and it's like, you're not selling it for 75% off if it really has that kind of value. And that holder wasn't really helping. So it's one of those things where it's like, it's a nice card if you're a Jordan fan. It's a nice card, but just it is what it is. One thing, I don't know if you, when I did share the screen, I don't know if you saw it, because Pro used like decimal points. It would have like a Pro 9.8 and stuff like that. Also, yesterday, you could have bought a Pro 9.8, so just a step below Pro 10. Pro 10 is prestigious, but if you'd been willing to go a step below that, a 9.8, you could have won yourself that card for a mere $566. A PSA 9 went for $5,000 back 20 years ago. Imagine a Pro 9.8, $566. Bargain. It's no Sharknado, but it's a pretty good bargain. Anyway, that's it for me this time around. Like I said, my 2 questions were, did this surprise you? If you didn't know, did you not know about this before? And number 2, kind of, did it surprise you? Those are kind of the 2 underlying questions that I have for you. More videos coming up on the channel. Like if you like the video, subscribe to the channel. Thanks very much. We'll catch you in the next one.